welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Tulip and Golf. Now, I've mentioned a little bit earlier about the crazy badminton
Get right
athletes.
to the action.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's embarrassing.
If only you use the energy into the right place.
Exactly. I mean, this took place in Vancouver of Canada. I mean, Canadians probably got used to like a little brawl in sport.
Really?
Yeah, because we have hockey, and hockey always.
Well, but that's
when you go watch hockey,
Right.
you don't just watch hockey. You're waiting for the fight to happen.
Like
even
football in Thailand.
Yeah. Exactly. But
But
for
that's the
badminton,
fans.
It's a fan, and technically, it happens so much that
But you
they were
don't-
kind of like almost like hockey / boxing.
Always expected.
Exactly. But for badminton, I mean, technically, you don't really have. This is not a contact
Right.
sport. You know
Right,
what I mean?
true. It's not something you need some tackle or fumble. Or
Exactly.
anything
And
like
this
that.
is a Yonex Canada Open Grand Prix 2013. And this is supposed to, fight over the $50,000 US dollars. And this is at Richmond, Vancouver in Canada. However, this particular event just kind of got out of hand due to the fact that these two, Kun A. Manipong Jongjit and Kun Art Badin Isara. Now, these two has been kind of not in a good place.
Right.
Ever since before they go, as you can see there, they just went at it, and everybody just have to go in.
And if you hear the voice.
And photographer, of
Yeah,
course.
if you hear the voice, the spectators were just screaming. It's like, oh my God, in the back.
Right.
It was just horrible.
Now, just to give you a picture of what's going on, Kun Mani Pong and Nithipon Puang Phet or Kun Ton Nam, they're supposed to be together. So Kun Mani Pong and Kun let me see here, Badin is on a different team. The two fighters, I will call them fighters. They're on different team. They're not on the same team. However,
they were competing against each other.
They used to compete, together.
Right.
But then, of course, there's
split.
there's some problems. So they have to compete against each other in one of those couple tournaments. However, they were paired with someone else. At this point, those two just kind of a collateral damage and one of them actually ended up receiving the prize due to the fact that obviously, their friends are not very good at whatever, trying to control the anger. However, as you can see there, they got the prize, but not with a good cause, not because of the game. Now, just to give you what happened, they say that during the game, in the first half, there has been a talk back and forth, kind of, yelling a lot all throughout the game. And they say that Kun Mani Pong and his teammate won for 21-12. And of course, during the time, Kun Art Badin, the other team, the other person, was just kind of yelling at Kun Mani Pong and said that, why would you, being so cheerful? And of course, there's a lot of, bad talking, going back and forth. Finally, when they have to switch to, to play on the other side, to walk to the other side of the field.
So after the first set?
Yep. Something bad happened because, they have to walk close to each other. All of a sudden, obviously, Kun Mani Pong start yelling to in front of Kun Art's face or Kun Badin's face. Now, at this point, after that, there has been a finger throwing, giving fingers.
Right.
And so that's when, the heat got really bad. And Kun Badin finally threw a punch. So the person that threw the punch first is Kun Art Badin. Right. And Kun A, after that, grabbed his racket, smack it into Kun Art's face.
And I think Kun Art got some
5 stitches to his ear. Right, his left ear.
And in the footage, you can actually hear when...
Look at that. They
when
ran around the
like
stadium.
A little kid.
Yeah. So at this point, the badminton associations are coming out and say that, and they both came apologize, but at this point, it's
Too
what
late.
done is done. Exactly. And it has been on all the, the international news and despite the fact that they say they're sorry. Well, even though he got hit, he is the one that started it, so he has to take all the blame, and the other guy.
Both of them have to take all the blame, though. It's both of them together.
It's true, but at this point they say that he was.
And they're not little kids.
They're like 23, 20 something, and the sad part is they're very good at what they do. And now I don't know whether or not they will get a chance to do it again, to play badminton for
maybe
our country.
I think they got black card in that event, but it doesn't mean they will be banned from other events.
Yeah,
though.
but it's like a lot of other events might, just kind of refrain of having them.
Right, if they have
just
association
a form of,
with
punishment.
Right.
Because it's like you're not respecting the game itself either. You
True.
don't respect like the committee people that attended the audiences. So it's sad, but that's what happened. You can probably go search on YouTube. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of clips that flying around.
A lot of clips on YouTube, and probably almost every news media has talked about it. It's one of those events that you don't expect to see.
Right.
Not in a good way.
No.
Anyway, move on to the next news. Gosh, we don't have much positive news today.
No, sorry.
Besides the news on royal family.
Right.
Anyway, over the past couple of days, there were a couple of reports of police officers commit suicide. So we're just gonna tell you about it. On Sunday, talk about this one first. On Sunday, late at night, in Nakhon Ratchasima city, the police got notified by to check out this one person that the neighbor heard the gunshot and ran out to see this man in the middle of his blood pool in front of a house,
right.
and has a 9mm in his hand. So the witness said they saw him commit suicide, killing himself. But
right.
When the police found him, he's still alive, but very
breathing very softly.
yeah, the pulse very low, so he finally passed away. So this is all speculation. He's actually a deputy superintendent, police lieutenant colonel in Sida, Nakhon Ratchasima. His name is Borawi Yusena, 46 years old. The police found one bullet at the scene, and the witness, which is the neighbor, this is actually not even his house. He's staying at his friend's house. The neighbor said that they have talked to this guy before, and they believe, this is all speculation, they believe that he is stressed out from this loan shark. He borrowed some money from loan shark, and he also loaned it out to other people,
right.
Hoping that he will make some money. And he has been telling his neighbor that he is so stressful because he unable to collect the money that people borrow from him. And he also have to face the interest and the people that loan him money.
Right, of course. They probably want their money back too.
Yeah, so obviously the flow wasn't so good, so this is all speculation, though. The police still investigate on the cause because he didn't left any note. But this is what the neighbor said.
Right.
Also, yesterday also another report of another police officer, Police Lance Corporal Surasit Joradon, 36-year-old in Aranya Pratet, Sakeo province. His wife couldn't find him, so she saw a note said, "Please take care of the kids, love you very much, and I am sorry and please forgive me." So she ran out and finally found him, his body to be exact, next to the chicken, what's it called, chicken pen?
Chicken coop?
Chicken pen?
Right, the coop, right?
Yeah.
Chicken coop.
It's the chicken pen, chicken coop, with 9mm in his hand. I guess it's a standard weapons for the police officer, the 9mm.
Probably.
So his body was found with the 9mm in his right hand. And the wife called the police, and she said that her husband has been saying that he wants to commit suicide for 2 weeks now because he's stressed out from the work. And she told him just try to plow through it because they have a little daughter, 3 years old. And also just earlier, just before this thing happened on Sunday, they just went to an ordained ceremony of their son in Chonburi. And that was the first time that she saw her husband was trying to kill himself at the hotel in the bathroom. But she able to took away the gun from him. And then they come back to their house in Sakao. So I guess if he already decide he wants to kill himself.
So I think a lot of people, it seems like to take their own lives out of the great
the
stress.
narrow escape. But then whoever left behind, like his wife and his 2 kids now have to,
Right.
go through the problem themselves. I think the best way, if your family face problem, the best way is just to stick together and just try to go through it.
But sad news. Now another, sorry, Kun Tulip, I'm trying to find like a good news to report, but well, this one could be good. The thing is, the Army Rangers yesterday has actually be able to take over a camp, what they believe to be RKK camp down south. Now, of course, we know that there's a lot of violence down south, and we have a peace talk with the BRN, which is another faction of the separatists. However, RKK is another separatist, which is short for Randa Kampulan Kesil, or RKK. Now, they say that the Army Rangers actually clash with a group of heavily armed insurgents, and this is around the Pattani province. They say that the ranger actually went into the Tatwe mountain range in Narathiwat, province early yesterday, and at this point there have been a gunfire exchange. However, the group of the RKK militants, about 10 of them, were able to escape due to the fact that they knew the area a lot better than the Army Rangers, obviously. And they say that at this point they found a lot of firearms as well as food supplies and the medical supplies. So they believe that this is one of the camp that would be used to train various militants. Now, having said that, at this point there are also reports of about 58 altogether of one of those banners that expresses their opposition toward the government, as well as the BRN peace talk. Now, this is in Pattani as well as Narathiwat province. They say that the officials found about 20 spots altogether of the banners in Pattani province, and in Narathiwat province about 38 spots with the banners. And they say that it's supposedly to be one of the small factions within the BRN itself that opposing the peace talk, and they were hoping that the Thai officials would be withdraw from the area to make sure that the security in the place would actually be a little less intense. However, of course, like we mentioned, we cannot do that, and there's still some report of killing down south as well at this point. So all in all, it seems like we are able to at least identify one of the camp.
Right.
I would have to say one of the camps, but because I'm pretty sure that around the Tawe mountain range, there would be a lot more.
They probably move from places to places because they said it's temporary. It looks like a temporary shelter, right?
Exactly. So at this point, we're probably going to hear a lot more about it, but at least, there has been an evasion, the capturing of the camp itself. So they can't use that camp anymore, but I'm pretty sure they have a lot more.
Anyway, the things that we hear a little bit more every day.
Yes.
Never go away.
That we anticipated.
Oh well. I don't know if you ever get tired of this.
Right. Well, Scandalous Monk. And you said yourself that, when we put our show, the playback on YouTube, and as soon as people search for his name, it's a lot of hit.
Yeah, people just want to know more about him, especially I think the international media starting to report about him like last week.
Right.
So globally known as
Famous now.
Really famous. Anyway, the update on him is if you already, I think one of his strong believer and follower has become very famous now. Mr. Sukhum Wongprasit. He also the chairman of the Ban Vimutitham and Yatitham Network, and also a spokesperson. At first he came out and claimed himself as a spokesperson for Luang Pu Nen Kam, which is now Nai Virachai. Anyway, Virapon. Now he said definitely Virapon will come back on July 31st, and they have already. He said definitely will come back, and they said.
Yay!
And he said they already contact really good lawyer for him, 6 of them together, and they given our name, which I don't really think we need to know. We don't need to know. And he claimed that is one very famous Hollywood lawyer from America named Lane Sherman that will also help the case, especially in the case that DSI tried to withdraw the passport. And in the extradition proceeding that they believe it's unfair to
you can do anything if you have money.
To Mr. Virapon and Mr. Sukhum, the spokesperson, has give out a press conference at one of the temple, and he said in these 4 or 5 days he will ceasefire. If it's a war, it will be ceasefire just to.
A peace period.
Yes, he said for 4 to 5 days. Like, all right. Anyway, more updates on that. Like we heard before that Mr. Virapon has involved with a lot of luxury cars in question, and one of the owner of the auto garage named Suparat Viriya Sirpong in Ubon Ratchathani. He in the news at first he didn't reveal himself because so the news came out as he's one of the accomplices. So he said now he want to come out and tell people and tell DSI what's happening and identify himself. So because he's also one of the plaintiff, not the defendant, not the accomplice.
I think they call him Sia Kang or something.
Yes,
right?
Sia Kang. At first, he know Virapon like 7 years ago when Virapon came in with his van to have his shop install the sound system for the car. So after that, Virapon has been buying and have his garage modifying the car for so many times. So for him, he is the another regular customer. Virapon is a regular customer until November 2012. Suddenly, Virapon borrowed money from him. Virapon said that he need this money to pay for his Mercedes, which is 5,040,000 baht. But it will be in 10 payments. So Sia Kang gave him 10 checks.
That's the thing.
That total is 5,040,000 baht. That's not all. After that, this year, only a couple months later, in February 2013, Virapon has come back and borrowed another 4 million baht.
Why would the monk need to borrow money?
He always have reason for it. The first time is for the payment of the Mercedes. This time is for the gemstones that he want to use to decorate the Emerald Buddha. 4 million baht. So, and he promised the interest of 2 baht per 100 every month.
So the point is he is hoping for the interest. That's why. He gave the monk money.
Hoping or not, total is 9 million something baht, and the guy promised to give his money back after he asking for so many times. Finally, in March, he got back 291,000 baht. So he still have almost 9 million baht to chase after. So
Right.
he pressed charges and being one of the complaint and plaintiff against the Weerapon Sukpon himself too. So yes, they said he's gonna come back on July 31st.
We're gonna wait.
We're gonna wait and see whether, because it has been so many times already that they said he will come back. So definitely we'll hear more about him.
All right.
It's not go away easily, this news.
So we're gonna take a very short break, but we'll come back with updates on the World Peace University as well as a little bit more on the government. So please stay tuned.